This video discusses how to write an introduction for an academic paper. In the video on text management in academic papers, I already discussed briefly the components for an introduction, background, thesis statement, disposition, and how these are essential parts in writing an introduction for a paper. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit here. So again, background. Why are we paying attention to this issue? Why is it important? That first paragraph, let's say that you're writing about 10 pages or so. Scope will differ, different papers, some are 6, some are 10. If you're writing a thesis, you might be up to 30 and beyond. But the initial text, regardless of how large your paper will become, has to be that funnel into the conversation of the meat of the paper. And during that introduction, that initial stage, the reader has to become aware of why this issue is important and why the reader should be paying attention to it at all. So that's really the first thing you do. The second thing is the thesis statement, or a research question, depending on your style. And this is the sense of purpose statement. This is the one sentence that anchors the paper and gives it a trajectory. It tells the reader what is the mission, the objective that is to be achieved in this paper. The disposition then is the roadmap, the outline, which tells the reader how the mission will be accomplished. So those three work intimately together. Now I'm going to show you two examples here of introductions. One is a clear and concise introduction. The other one is an introduction that needs further work. Let's start with a clear and concise one. This paragraph explains to the reader why the topic that we're studying is important. And I've even made some entries here about paragraph management, connecting back to that again from the previous video. So the first sentence here is a topic sentence. This is the first sentence, obviously. It tells the reader what the paragraph is about. Here is a short note on how long a sentence in a paragraph in an academic paper should be. And here you can see my note here. This paragraph provides background information. Why is this topic interesting to study? Why should we care? And this is exactly the functionality of this initial lead in, if you will. And then comes the paragraph where I have put the thesis statement, which is right here, the final sentence in the second paragraph. And then follows the outline right here, which is essentially the rest of this introduction. And you can see my pointers here. This paragraph contains the outline for the essay. You don't have to keep the thesis statement and outline in different paragraphs. It can be done. It really depends on what's the good rhythm and flow for your particular writing. Here is background material that this paragraph, this paper will start with to give the reader some context about this particular political situation. It really depends on which paper you're writing. Some papers won't be needing this type of contextualization, so you have to think about your tools when you're which tools you're going to pick when you're writing your own paper. This next step in my outline is talking about a political event, and then that's followed by an analysis based on these two previous segments. So effectively it's contextualization, a political event, and then analysis that brings together all three of these parts. So this disposition then together gives the reader a general outline of the arguments that are to come, and provides the argument, the reader with the roadmap necessary to understand the overall argument. A couple of notes here. First of all, this text is avoiding the passive form. You will also see that many sentences are longer than 20 words, but they're not so long as to make it inaccessible, the text inaccessible. And some paragraphs are shorter than 100 words long, but they're always at least 3 sentences long, which still gives the text a decent flow. So after that, let's go over to a text that needs further work. So here I've purposefully made the same introduction much longer, and you can see here also that the paragraph management is only 2 paragraphs this time. Here, if we go over the notes, 2 ands make for a quite awkward sentence here. So there's an and here, and then there's an and here as well. So this sentence is way too long. You could split it easily to make for smoother reading. This sentence here is quite awkward because of the order in which facts are presented. We could just start this sentence with as a result. And here is a problem with this sentence because there is no citation of Nino. This citation is incorrectly done. Here, for this overall paragraph, it really contains both background information and the disposition, so the outline, which is too much and makes it really entangled. Since the thesis statement is not part of this segment, that makes this segment quite confusing to read, because there is no sense of purpose for the text. The sense of purpose sentence is not yet presented. So at this stage, after reading this paragraph, the reader will still not know where this is going, what objectives are this text is trying to achieve. Going on here, the wrap-up sentence of the previous paragraph has here ended up as the lead-in to the next paragraph, which then gives that effect that both of these paragraphs are going to deal with the same material. And then putting the thesis statement after the outline here means that the reader doesn't know the purpose of the text until getting to this point, and I mentioned that previously. So that's here you can see how that becomes confusing. And then the rest of the paragraph really concerns matters that are no longer part of the introduction. It's really main body text and theoretical framework that starts coming in here. And that means that you have a blend between the introduction and the main body text that, again, is confusing organizationally. So that's not an optimal way of organizing an introduction. Hope that little primer was helpful for you.